Hello everyone, I'm Carly, and I'll admit that my taste in people is a little weird.
I'm Sam, and I'll admit that my taste in people is also a little weird.
And welcome to Read Receipts with Carly and Sam, our book-based podcast covering all the latest hits and some stories off the beaten path.
With a few fun and exclusive episodes mixed in between.
And you might notice that we have a cake here in front of us today.
Speaking of fun and exclusive episodes, there's nothing really more fun or exclusive than a little sweet treat.
Oh yes, I love a sweet treat.
Behold our cake, our pass cake.
You might recall at the beginning of this year that we had an episode featuring some characters that we asked you to hear us out on from books or movies based on books.
Mm-hmm.
And so naturally, with that, we thought, why not cap off this year with a little variation off of that, with maybe characters that we just think are meh, or might be mid, or in a game of smash or pass, we would say pass.
Hence, the pass cake.
Yeah. So to go a little bit more in depth into how exactly this game will work, obviously if you saw the Hear Me Out Cake episode / if you've seen a Hear Me Out Cake like TikTok or something, it'll work very similarly where we're going to bring out characters from either a book or a movie or series based on a book just to make things easier for us. And we're going to bring them out and talk about why we would rather pass on them versus why other people might be smashing them.
Mm-hmm. And because we are still talking about book-based characters in general, we will still have a spoiler warning in effect, because even though we're not talking about plot points or twists and turns or anything like that, we are going to be talking about, the stories that these characters come from. And if you haven't read any of those stories, it might be a bit of a spoiler. So just know you've been warned.
I feel like I want to be a bit of a disclaimer for my personal choices. Some of them might have a little bit of influence from their personality, but I would say that for the most part, the people that I picked out for my passes mostly have to do with what they look like personally.
Okay.
The reason why I bring this up is that I feel like in our Hear Me Outs, a lot of times personalities would sort of factor into why they were Hear Me Outs. And in this case, I feel like personalities oftentimes, maybe lessen a pass. So I try to kind of take that out of the equation for the most part, just because even evil characters, it's well, they're hot. So I'm not actually
they're hot.
Yeah.
I feel like, since you did a disclaimer on yours, I feel like I also need to do a disclaimer on mine with the fact that all of my people are hot.
Impressive.
And really, I think the reason I'm passing on them is maybe because of personality. But as you all know, I'm willing to give anyone one chance. I'm willing to try anyone once.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you might also notice behind us that we have featuring our Hear Me Outs from the last time. Behind us in the background.
Yes, our many Hear Me Out, sweet baby cigarette, love of our lives.
How could we forget the star of the show?
Yes.
So now they're going to have some new brethren, some new people to join their club, although a different club of, I guess, not the same caliber, really.
Not quite the same, but,
They're also pictures on a stick.
They're also pictures on a stick.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to get into it. I think we've got quite a few good passes, at least on my end, and hopefully on yours as well, because we kind of did this similarly to how we did the Hear Me Out cake, where we didn't talk about who we were putting on the cake beforehand. So it's just as a surprise to me as it is to you all what Carly's passes are, and vice versa, which will be really exciting.
Yes, I am really excited because, I think that it was already fun the first time around with Hear Me Outs to be so what exactly do you like about these people?
Yes.
Sort of thing. And so similarly, I think it's going to be very interesting to be so why are we passing
Why
on
are
them?
we passing on this person?
Yeah. I think I also want to bring up notably, at least for me, I don't know how yours went, all of mine are men because women are perfect usually. So
Facts.
Name a woman I would pass on.
Facts.
I don't know. I don't know if I can name one. So you'll notice that as there's definitely that going for me.
Do you want to go first?
Sure, I will go first. And I will admit, you might, as I do my passes, notice a bit of a trend.
Oh, okay.
And maybe some of the features that contribute to why I'm passing them.
Okay.
So my first pass, I actually know almost nothing about,
Oh, okay. Off to a strong start.
which is why it's really purely based on looks. I chose Legolas from Lord of the Rings.
Wow.
Yeah.
For our visual audience members, we've got Legolas right here on the cake.
So I chose Legolas because honestly, from an early age, I remember that people were really obsessed with Legolas. Like honestly, I didn't know any other characters from Lord of the Rings other than Legolas. Didn't know about Frodo, didn't know about Sam, any of them, and I still don't know a whole lot. Like I know I've seen at least one movie, but I wasn't paying attention very hard. But anyway,
Way to ostracize our Lord of the Rings fans out there.
I'm so sorry. I might revisit it one day. I think I could like it more now.
I think it's possible that maybe you and I could revisit it on the podcast one day because I have also little to no knowledge of the Lord of the Rings universe.
Oh, interesting.
So that might be interesting to cover on the pod. We'll come back to that.
Yes, for sure. But yeah, I feel like from an early age, I remember people really freaking out about Legolas. I think naturally because he's played by Orlando Bloom. And so this is kind of a twofer for me where like I've never been super into Orlando Bloom in general as like an actor. Like obviously he's objectively attractive, but like he's never been specifically interesting to me, I guess, or whatever.
Yeah.
But also not a huge fan of like this super long white blonde hair. And
I see.
also I kind of noticed in this picture, you can't really tell I guess right now in the lights, but like he clearly has, in my mind, does Orlando Bloom have blue eyes?
I don't think so.
He has blue eyes in this picture, and to me they look clearly like contacts and they look creepy. I'm like, why?
Interesting.
I don't know. Like, not that I'm saying, like, why did anyone like him, but I'm just like, I don't know.
I hopped on the train. Legolas is attractive, in my opinion.
Okay.
Smash. But, I mean, he makes for a good addition to the pass cake because it is very much like, interesting pass there.
Yeah. Yeah. He's just not it for me. Honestly, I will admit, the hair is a big contributing factor. If he had short hair, maybe I'd be more on board. But he just doesn't really do it for me.
Just doesn't do it for you.
And I don't know anything about his personality, too.
Listen, sometimes it comes down to that. Sometimes they just don't do it for you.
Yeah. Not my cup of tea.
Yeah, I get that. Okay, well, that's a great first, I mean, right out of the gate, a great first pass. Let me see your great first pass with what I think is a great first pass in itself.
Okay.
So my first pass is, I think, a very still popular character that people are really invested in and really like, oh, of course, this guy with his like brooding stare, tall, dark, handsome.
My type?
Some might even say impressive wingspan. My first pass is going to be Azriel.
Oh, I was kind of curious which Bat Boy this might be.
Yes. So my first pass is going to be Azriel. And like I said in the beginning of the episode, my passes aren't really true passes. Like, would I still? Probably.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like I remember early days, early days of ACOTAR that you were like, I'm interested.
I still could be, but I feel like for me, not necessarily, looks or aesthetics or anything like that, but I just feel like Azriel's personality doesn't really do it for me. And I think it's because I think he has very much a lack of personality.
I agree.
There's not really a lot going on there other than sometimes mysterious, really all the time brooding, which can be attractive at first, but are you going to be like that all the time?
Yeah,
I
definitely agree that I feel like he really lacks a lot of personality. Like, I feel like it was really hyped up. Oh, what's up with Azriel? Like, he's always so quiet in the dark, and it's just like, blah, blah, blah. And, like, we learn more about him in ACOWAR, and, I kind of guess we knew earlier on that, like, he has a pretty difficult past. But, like, honestly, I feel like what we learned from him is just that, yeah, he has a difficult past, and that's kind of it to him.
Kind of it. Yeah, he doesn't really have much personality-wise going for him. And, maybe it is because he is a little bit more introverted, a little bit more silent, kind of keeps to himself. And maybe once you get to know him, like, things will come to surface. But just, 3 books, and I get that, again, that they're not really focusing on him, but we don't know anything about him. Like, all he really has going for him is that impressive wingspan, really.
Yes.
So, like, would I smash? Yeah, probably. But long term, I'm gonna say pass.
Yeah. I get it. Maybe we'll find out more about him in the new ACOTAR book.
We'll see. Yeah.
But for now, I think that this is an appropriate take.
And you are right. In the beginning, I was kind of like, smash. And I still am, again. But it is leaning more towards pass. But in the next ACOTAR book, maybe it will be a smash once again.
Yes. There's always time. There's
never a hit it and quit it with me.
Yeah. I think it's funny that you have a Bat Boy on your pass list, because I also have a Bat Boy on my pass list.
Oh, here we go.
My next pass is Cassian, but I need to further explain that, again, a lot of the reason why I would pass on him are because of his looks, and I found a picture that, like, although is a cartoon, it still is kind of closely accurate to how I pictured him, and this is how I pictured him. He's a little Viking man.
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah.
I love how it's just like the way you pictured him. You were like, no, this is how I saw him, so it's going to be a pass for me.
Unfortunately, like, truly, anytime that I see actually, like, based on how he was described,
Yeah.
and based on, like, other people's fan art, it's like, obviously that's a hot man, and he really does have a great personality.
Yeah.
Cassian's great. I love him. He, honestly, in terms of personality too, he goes along with, like, a lot of my book boyfriends. Like, he's kind of the softer and more in tune with his emotions kind of guy.
Yeah.
Like, very Miles coded, or like maybe PETA coded. I don't know if I would go as far as PETA. He's
a softie.
Yes, he's a softie to complement Nesta's hard. So, like, I do like that about him. But unfortunately, once I picture something in my head when it comes to a character, it's really hard.
Like, I can't unsee it.
I can't unsee it. And I just see this Viking man with a big old beard, and
That doesn't do it for you?
no, not in this case. Yeah, unfortunately. I think it's because when we're introduced to him in ACOTAR, he comes off very goofy. And so I wasn't expecting to think of him as hot. I didn't know I would need to save that for later, as like a romantic interest. So I didn't, I was just like, yeah, like a kind of goofy, like ho-hum, just like silly character.
Yeah. We definitely are introduced to him in that way. He makes jokes and is kind of your best friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of where that came up.
Watch, like, people watching our YouTube video and, like, going back and finding receipts and being like, that's not how he's supposed to look.
Listen.
Like, Carly, what?
Sometimes I will paint a picture very based on, like, how it was described in the book.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's vibes. Sometimes it's like, they remind me of this character. So I'm going to start picturing this character. Like, it doesn't always make sense.
And once she starts, she can't stop.
I really can't. There are still some characters that, like, I will kind of try to bounce around and try to more accurately picture how they're described. I'm like, I just keep landing back on this other picture, though, that I came up with a while ago.
Yeah.
And it is what it is.
It is what it is. That is really funny that we both have Bat Boys on here.
Yeah.
So my next pass is going to be Reese. Imagine.
One more time. Let's bash Reese.
He's had enough. He's had enough of that on the pod.
He's like, please, I stopped watching episodes ago.
He said, please.
He probably would be like, it was one thing when you talked about me, but now you're talking about my friends.
Now we've brought the other guys into it.
Honestly, it just makes it seem like we hate ACOTAR.
No, honestly. Oops. Okay, so we have a little bit of a trend here on the pod where we kind of talk about and bring up sort of morally gray characters from books. And so my next pass is going to be another super hot guy, but definitely a little bit problematic.
Okay.
Definitely has some interesting tastes as well, specifically in the bedroom. You guys know what I'm talking about. My next pass is going to be Christian Grey from 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh, I have never seen 50 Shades of Grey.
Yep.
So have you?
I have seen the first one, I think.
Okay.
I haven't seen the whole series.
Have you read them?
I haven't read them.
Okay.
So I do have a little bit of a limited knowledge on this character, I guess. But I do feel as though, like, when the books gained popularity and when the movies came out, like, everybody kind of knew what it was about. Everyone
Yeah.
kind of knew, like, what was happening in the stories. Like, I know everything that does happen. Like, I know how their relationship progresses. I know how they meet. I know, you know, what happens in the second book and the third book and all of that. So I do feel like I have knowledge about it, maybe not like a super intimate knowledge about it or him as a character, but I do feel confident in saying that this is going to be a pass for me. And listen, it has absolutely nothing to do with the way Christian Grey looks, because I mean, come on.
I need to look at him.
Look at him.
I haven't explored this in a while. Okay. Continue your case.
I mean, he's definitely a quintessential hot man. Also, he's rich. So,
Again, your type.
yeah, exactly. You know, and also he's a little bit problematic. Again,
Again, your type.
type. But I do feel like he long term is a little bit too problematic to be in a relationship with. Like, I think the way he treats Anna, especially in the beginning of the series, is kind of like, okay, what's kind of happening here? And they do have a little bit of a contract situation when it comes to like what they do in the bedroom behind closed doors. And I get that a lot of that might be included in like kind of how he treats her, I guess, in general. But a lot of it I found was a little bit more degrading than it needed to be. And because he has such eccentric tastes, I just feel like personally I can't live up to it.
Yeah. I'm surprised though. So I'm assuming you think that you can't fix him?
Well, this is going to be a hot take. I don't think I need to. I think he is, personality-wise, in his own element. Like, it's not that there's not anything wrong with him, and it's not that he's not a little bit problematic, and it's not that, like, maybe his tastes behind closed doors is a little bit eccentric, but there's not really anything wrong, if that makes sense. Like, he definitely fits the mold that he was, like, cast for.
Yeah.
You know? It's just not for me.
Right. It's like not really something that needs to be fixed because it's just a completely
It's just, yes.
different thing that's not for me.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah. Because iFixsims are like, oh, well, they're so great, but there's this other problem. But maybe I can.
But also, maybe I could fix that.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So I feel like the desire to fix that is not really in the cards for me for Christian Grey. He's just kind of a character that I don't really want to be involved with.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a pass for me.
Man, I'm really intrigued, though, because, you know, as everyone knows on this podcast, one day we will be reading Twilight. And obviously, 50 Shades of Grey was based on Twilight. So I'm like, is this something we should explore in the pod sometime?
I think possibly this will be something that we end up coming back to, kind of the connection between, you know, 50 Shades of Grey, Twilight, My Chemical Romance, Ellen DeGeneres' show getting canceled. It's all connected.
I love that
It's
iceberg.
all connected.
Also, speaking of, that reminds me of a story that at my school, not all of the teachers, but some of the teachers would have like a little whiteboard outside of their room, and they would write things like what book they were reading at that moment. And so, like, I had this math teacher that I had for like most of my high school experience. I absolutely loved her. She was great. She left my senior year, and so I had this other teacher, and randomly that teacher one day was like, you know, Miss So-and-so at some point had 50 Shades of Grey on her board for what book she was reading, and no one knew because it wasn't popular yet.
Wow.
It was just so under the radar, and it's like, I cannot believe, like, at some point she would have, if for whatever reason she didn't know going into it, at some point she would know what the book was.
You think she would have, you know,
She left it there, I guess, or I don't know. Maybe she didn't. Maybe this is a bit little extrapolated from the truth, but I was just like,
Maybe she just really wanted to get to the bottom of the connection between 50 Shades of Grey and Twilight.
maybe.
We don't know. You know, she could have been there for completely different reasons. We don't know.
Right. She's just a Twilight super fan.
Exactly. Yeah. It's possible.
I respect it, though. I think that's amazing and hilarious, and I only love her more. A great math teacher. I loved her. Okay. Man, what direction do I want to go in next? I think I am going to go with this one. Ironically, if you recall from our Hear Me Out Cake episode, this character was actually on the Hear Me Out Cake.
Oh.
But a version of him in a specific transformative way. It wasn't just him, it was him as a specific way of himself.
Interesting.
So this is him as himself. I have Sirius Black.
Yep. Okay. I understand.
Yeah. So personally...
Smash.
Like, don't... See, here's the thing. It's kind of like, this is a little bit more of a mix of, like, the personality and the looks, I guess. Like, the looks are, again,
Interesting.
a little don't do it for me. I don't really love the long hair.
I think what we're finding out is Carly is not a fan of long, hairy men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like hair. I like hairy men. I just don't like long hair.
You're going to say that while Cassian the Viking is on the pass cake?
Well, he also has long hair. This picture, you can't see it.
Okay.
In this picture of him, this is Cassian, by the way, and this is a picture of him. It looks like his hair is short, but in the books, his hair is long.
Okay.
So, also, Sirius is also a little bit, like, I feel like morally gray, like, I don't know, there's some...
Smash.
Like, I feel like there have been problematic things brought up about Sirius that it's like, well, I can't remember where they are at the top of my head. But, like, also in general, in terms of, like, the Marauders, like, he's just never been my favorite. Lupin has always been my favorite. And, like, in my opinion, I was always a little bit like, Harry, Lupin was a great father figure. Like, all of a sudden you're just swapping in Sirius just because he's your godfather. Like, I don't know. I was like, why are we obsessing over him even though he's just some guy? And we actually thought he was evil 10 seconds ago. But now we're like, actually, I love him. I remember now the personality things that I didn't like about Sirius. The first one being that he was a pretty big bully in addition to James when they were kids.
Yeah.
So that was something that really put me off about him. And then also on top of that, and granted, this is a little bit more like, I understand the emotions are complex behind it, but I do feel like once he and Harry are on good terms, I do feel like he's kind of trying to fill a James-sized hole in his heart with Harry and puts a lot of pressure on him and sort of has those sort of expectations on him. So I didn't love that. I understand, again, complicated, but I didn't love those things. Also, obviously, again, the hair, but also the mustache is twirling up. Like, is it 2011? What are we doing?
The hair.
Are we on Tumblr? What is going on? And
I mean, if you think about when these all took place.
That's a good point.
You know.
But this was almost like before hipsters were a thing.
I mean.
He was like the OG.
Yeah.
Here's the OG
Smash.
hipster. And the beard, too. It's a look. It's something. And I understand that it could be some people's thing, but...
I understand where you were coming from. I mean, he definitely is a little bit of a bully. He definitely does put a lot of pressure on Harry. So he's kind of... I get that he has his problems. But are they problems that I am willing to fix / overlook? Yes, they are. Smash.
Of course, naturally. Yeah.
But I will say that there are, like with Christian Grey, some problems that we really can't overlook, or problems that we're just not interested in overlooking, like with my next pass.
Oh, okay.
So my next pass, I think, is the kind of guy that upon first mention, people are going to say, oh, that's interesting, because he's very much the quintessential rom-com guy. Rom-dram, if you will, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. He is very much like a wife guy. He loves his wife. He's very caring, very devoted to her. But if you think about kind of how they met and the progression of their relationship throughout the book/movie, I think you can come to see why he would be a little problematic and why we necessarily don't want to try to fix it / don't think we can. Mm-hmm. My next pass is going to be Noah Calhoun from The Notebook.
Oh, okay. So I've never seen The Notebook, so you're gonna have to tell me more about him. I have heard. I feel like it's a bit. I don't know about mainstream, but I definitely have heard people talk about how he is a little problematic, or like there are definitely issues with him and his relationship. So
listen, it's just, again, one of those things where upon first mention, you're going to think he's a romantic guy, right? He loves his wife. He's very devoted. Ryan Gosling, very devoted to Rachel McAdams, who plays Allie, his wife in the movie. She, at the very end, gets sick. Alzheimer's, I want to say, and he's very like devoted to her care, very devoted to telling her like their love story. He even moves into the home with her. It's very sweet. It's actually really romantic. But once again, once you remember kind of how they got together, you start to pick up on these pieces of like, hey, maybe that's a little toxic. Mm-hmm. So they get together when they're like very young at like the county fair. She is very like old money, kind of wealthier. He's kind of like a working class man. Her family does not approve of this whole situation. Okay. Mm-hmm. They meet at the county fair while she's there with her friend and like 2 other guys that they think they're on dates with. Okay. Oh. She gets on the Ferris wheel. He sees her from across the way and he's like, that girl, I want her to be mine. Okay, he goes up to her, tries to make like talk with her. She is not having it. She gets on the Ferris wheel. He hops up onto the Ferris wheel, ends up like grabbing onto it and says to her, if you don't go out with me, I'm letting go.
What the fuck?
Right off the gate, very intense.
Dude, get off the Ferris wheel. What are you doing?
Very intense. Yeah. Yeah. And it's kind of played off as this like, oh, he would do anything for her. Like very passionate, very like, I am going to woo this woman. Okay. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what it's like supposed to come off against. But now, upon further reflection, we really think about how kind of problematic that is, that she is saying no. And then he is kind of like goading her into saying, well, like, I will sacrifice myself if you don't go out with me.
Yeah, you're like making it impossible to say no.
That's really extreme. So what does she do? What can she do? She says yes. They end up going out and like it ends up working for that. They end up falling in love and all of that. But this is not a green light for this to be something people should do. Because even though they end up going out and everything ends up working for them, their relationship is very tumultuous. Like they fight all of the time. It's very toxic. But again, it's spun for us to believe that it's passionate. Like they are so in love with each other. It's very intense. It's very passionate.
Yeah, that is so problematic knowing that this is like the penultimate like, sorry, I don't know how to say that word. Don't worry about it. This is like the end all be all of like romance books and movies. So that is crazy that that is like the depiction that we're all supposed to be following.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So we have a lot of moments like this that go on throughout the book. And then eventually, you know, she ends up leaving. She writes all of these letters to him. She doesn't get a single one back. We find out that later it's because her family doesn't approve of him. So her mother's been hiding the letters. But she goes to confront him and then they get into another fight. It ends up being very intense. They end up sleeping together. And then it's like, okay, I guess we'll get back together.
Oh my God.
There's a lot to unpack there that's very like, maybe we should go to couples therapy. Uh-huh. Maybe we should, you know, figure this out. Maybe we shouldn't be together.
Yeah,
I mean,
already the relationship is just founded on, I think that woman is really pretty. Mm-hmm. And that's it.
Yeah.
Doesn't know a thing about her.
Yeah.
And is like, I will kill myself if you don't go on a date with me.
Yeah.
That's insane. This is in like an old time period, right?
Yes.
Because I feel like I've seen them in like vintage clothing and stuff like that. Yes. Assuming that like we see the end of their story with her having Alzheimer's, that would be the part that's in present day.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, so that also, not that makes it okay, but like
for sure,
maybe a little bit more accurate.
Slightly different standards. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Still shouldn't be romanticized, but yeah, like technically accurate maybe.
Yes. This is one of my first original passes that I kind of came up with that I was like, I think it's going to be a solid pass for me, but slightly controversial in the Smash or Pass universe.
Right, like if people haven't revisited this since like whenever they saw it, which was likely, 20 years ago.
Years ago, yes. Yeah, correct.
Pretty crazy.
If there is any sort of saving grace for Noah Calhoun, it is Ryan Gosling.
That is, yeah.
So we
that
don't
is like
really,
the best thing going for it.
that's the best thing going for him. We really don't have many issues with the physical appearance of Ryan Gosling. I did choose less of a Ryan Gosling is hot photo, where he does have the longer hair, so you might not be as into it.
I was gonna say,
But
not terrible. Like it's still not terribly long.
it's still not terribly long, and if this is the worst he looks in the movie, I mean, come on.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Because I was going to say, I remember him being like clean cut, I thought, in a lot of the footage I've seen. Interesting. Man.
Yeah.
That's a good one. So did you like dislike him from the beginning, or was this something that as you got older you realized?
I think it was something I realized as I got older, and your tastes kind of mature and you kind of realize that there's more out there.
Right. I can see how, on one hand, it's nice to be wanted.
Yes,
But,
for
like,
sure.
In reality, red flags.
Yeah.
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 Well, my next pick is not problematic at all. It's, again, just based on how I personally visualize them.
I love the difference in our picks.
Honestly, we are the same in the sense that, like, we can make an argument to like anyone.
That's so true. I mean,
so
like
these are
I
the
said,
straws I'm grappling at,
Like I said, I'll give anyone a shot.
Yeah. So my next pick, once again, has long hair.
Love that.
And once again, is a character that is only from a book, not from any sort of like physical adaptation. And so we're having to play with like how I personally viewed them. And this is genuinely what I pictured. Because I had it's a picture.
I love the direction this is going.
It's a picture you might have seen many a times on the internet through the form of a meme. And also with this pick, we are hearkening back to our early days, not just our first off the shelf episode, but our first book club episode.
Oh?
My person is Khan, and it's the one does not simply walk into Mordor meme guy. And again, it's mostly just based on the this whole image. I was like, because it's funny, I was kind of confusing, because again, I don't know anything about Lord of the Rings.
Right, of course.
I was confusing him with the other hot guy that has long hair. Because I originally was trying to look up like long hair guy from Lord of the Rings or something, which again is a horrible.
That search,
that's
long-haired
everyone.
guy from Lord of the Rings. Everyone.
But there is a guy, because I saw the clip where like he's pushing open the doors and he's like drenched in water, I think. And I'm like, okay, yes, he has long hair, but
The Lord of the Rings fans, I'm telling you, they are screaming.
But that guy's hot. I will give you that. Even though he has long hair, he's hot. But I did think that he was the same as this guy, but I don't think they're the same. This is a different guy, and he is genuinely just like a dad.
See, I wish I could tell you too, but neither of us are very big Lord of the Rings fans at all, so we don't know much.
We'll ask our associates with Lord of the Rings. But yeah, I feel bad because on one hand, I think Khan is a really good love interest. I don't feel like super passionately about Khan, but I do acknowledge that like he has that devotion, and he's really caring and stuff like that. And he's like that soft to raves hard.
For sure.
But it's truly like from the beginning, this is all I could picture.
I pictured him as Jason Momoa's character from Game of Thrones.
Okay, I don't know exactly
The call
what that looks like
in the very beginning.
but I know obviously what Jason Momoa looks like.
Yeah, that's kind of what I pictured him looking like, and so I was kind of like, I'm into it.
But see,
I think it does matter. I think you're right.
I'm not attracted to Jason Momoa, really. So
Oh, I'm not really either, but I am attracted to him in that specific setting in Game of Thrones.
I might need to see that to know like, how I feel about that.
Yeah. But I think you're right. I think it does matter how you like visualize them in the beginning, because I haven't been able to visualize him as anything else. Like even as you bringing this out, I keep thinking to myself, that doesn't look anything like Khan, because
know,
like that's
right?
not how I visualized him.
So I feel bad. He's not actually that bad of a guy, but like
Just not for you.
Not for me. The
Not
hair.
doing it.
His hair in particular, guys, though, right? Like, that's pretty dirty. Like, we can all get behind that. That this is an exceptionally, like, he has long hair and he's also not hot, right?
Right?
Like, I can kind of understand, like, Legolas, I don't know how to
Legolas.
Legolas? Okay. But, like, you know, he's got pretty face. I understand that.
Pretty face?
Sirius Black, pretty face. But this guy, I mean, that's like, he's giving, like, Creed. He's giving...
Stop.
He's giving, hold me now.
Oh, God.
I'm 6 feet from the edge. And actually, I'm going to put him on the edge of the cake just for that. I'm thinking. Okay. I didn't expect to bring out my Creed impression on this podcast. Oh my God.
You know, since Carly has been bringing up so many like physical traits for her passes, I feel like it's only fair that I bring out a pass of mine that I'm not into solely for physical reasons.
Okay.
Just to kind of, you know, bridge that gap a little bit. This pass is also possibly my most unhinged of this specific cake. This pass is a woman and is also a creature.
Oh. Okay, I'm intrigued.
My next pass is going to be Charlotte from Charlotte's Web.
You really pulled deep. You really put a lot of thought into this. Because I would have never.
Charlotte from Charlotte's Web?
I'm actually. I don't think I am on the same page as you with this one.
Okay.
Which is maybe not surprising if you've seen the Hear Me Out cake. And you've...
The Velvet Trog?
Yeah, I don't know if the Velvet Trog is back.
If she's back here, yeah.
The paper's been kind of falling, but...
Yes.
I feel like she does give a little similar vibes.
She gives Velvet Trog vibes, yes. And as we know, Velvet Trog is not really my type of girly. So, you know, there is a little bit of a disparity there between our tastes. But I am solely against Charlotte. There's nothing wrong with her personality. I think she's great. You know, she's very nurturing, very caring, especially to what's his name, Wilbur?
Yeah.
The pig?
I think so.
I think so.
Yes, Wilbur, yeah. For a second
Yeah.
I was like, wait, is that the other pig? But that's Babe, because it's Babe. So
Is that the other? No, that's Babe. 'Cause Babe.
obviously.
Yeah, she's very kind. She's very mothering. She's very intelligent, right? And she's a showgirl. She's a showstopper. She's putting on the moves for everybody on the farm. Mm-hmm. But despite her amazing personality, she really doesn't do it for me solely because she is a spider.
Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong, in real life, like, if she was not a cartoon spider, I would hate that.
Yeah.
But as a cartoon, that's a thick spider.
She's still a spider. And for me, I think the spiders are... Is that racist?
I don't know. We can't go there. We're getting canceled. Guys, this was the last episode of Reader Seats with Carly and Sam.
For that. I'm so sorry to the spider race. Listen, I respect you. I do. I really do. It's just, you kind of scare me.
It's just a preference.
You kind It's just a preference. It's just a preference. You just kind of scare me. I'm not going to lie. You intimidate me. And in some ways, it's attractive. In other ways, it's like, please get out of my house.
I think we need to unpack this bias in another episode.
The more I talk about it, the more it does kind of sound racist.
Like the
the
more
more
it's not about a cartoon spider.
the more I say, you scare me, get out of my house,
Yeah.
the more racist it sounds.
It's like, who was here first, Sam? The house or the spider?
The more bigotry that's coming out of this pass. But
Yikes, guys.
if you know me, you know I have intense arachnophobia. So it's just, I just can't. I'm sorry, Charlotte.
Yeah, leave in the comments, though. I'm curious. Who else thinks that her body's tea? Because
She is great otherwise, though.
yeah. I find this very intriguing. I like this.
Yep.
Similarly to you with your last pick, I think this pick is going to bridge the gap a little bit because I will say that while there are maybe some physical things that I'm like, yeah, it's fine, I think that most of my pastness has to do with the personality more than the looks. And so my final pass is, what's his name? Gale from the Hunger Games.
Oh, I see.
Which everyone could have maybe seen this coming
because you're a PETA girly.
I'm a PETA girl.
Yeah.
I put him on my book boyfriend draft.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in general, like, I think between the two, I was maybe a little bit more attracted to PETA in, like, from a physical standpoint. Nothing in particular about Gale. But on top of that, further, you know, Gale is very possessive of Katniss, and we don't like that. He has a very different approach to the whole war situation, and I also don't love that. I really can't get over the fact at the end of the Hunger Games series, the bombs that are used on the children is all of Gale's original idea. And I can kind of understand that, like, when you are bitter about these sorts of things, you can have that sort of mindset, but I just also think that when it comes to lives, especially children, like, that is so insane to do. Yeah, I don't feel like I even have to say a whole lot. It's like, it's Gale.
I think ultimately it also just comes down to the difference between him and Katniss. They just have very different views, you know, and it was never really going to work.
Right, like, they were just two people who were friends, like, since, not even since childhood, but, like, you know, for years. And, like, we're just supposed to ship them together because they knew each other for years. Like, that's not enough.
I see where you're coming from, though, with the fact that it's more of a personality thing, because Gale is attractive.
He is. He's still Liam Hemsworth.
Yeah.
The Hemsworth, they got good blood.
I mean, you know.
I don't know if I have much more to say. It's like, sorry, Allie Hazelwood.
I have a similar situation with my last pick, which, I mean, it has mostly been similar for pretty consistent with all of my picks except for Charlotte, where it's more so the personality and not necessarily the, like, looks. It's more so the fact that there's either not much to them or they have a little bit more of a toxic trait that's, like, not really for me / not really worth, like, the fixing. So my last pass is going to be, I think, someone who is supposedly conventionally attractive. At least that's the way he's described in the book, because this is solely a book guy. And his significant other is very in love with him. Okay, there's a lot that she, I think, doesn't see that we as the readers have seen, that you and I have seen, because this is a character from a book that we've covered here on the pod.
Oh.
My next pass is going to be Gabriel Berenson from The Silent Patient.
I literally, when you were talking about that, I was like, I can't help but feel like recency bias, but is that what we're talking about?
I just chose a picture of a conventionally attractive man with a camera because Gabriel is a photographer.
For a second, I thought that was Dylan Efron, and I was like, that's hilarious.
I don't think it is.
No, I don't think it is.
No, I don't think it is.
That's interesting. I don't know why, but in my mind, I was picturing someone kind of like tall, dark, and handsome. I don't remember if there was any specific, like, description of him indicating that.
I don't really remember that either. I do feel like I remember Alicia talking about the fact that he was, like, attractive and all of that.
Yeah, he's for sure attractive. Max talks about it too. Because Theo loves to make a point about how Max is ugly.
Yes.
And Gabriel's hot.
And Gabriel's hot, correct. So again, it's not really the physical attractiveness of the character that's in question here. It's more so the personality. And even differently than the ones that I've picked in the past, where kind of personality is an issue, where we have kind of toxic, morally gray men with personalities that we don't really care to fix or don't really want to fix. Gabriel, I feel like, comes off as a wife guy. He comes off as somebody that is loving and protective and cares about Alicia, at least from her perspective. But we've talked about it several times here on the pod, and especially in one of our most recent episodes where we cover The Silent Patient, where Gabriel is really not that attentive to Alicia's needs at all.
Yeah. There's just so much about, like, he clearly doesn't see her as, like, a sane person. He doesn't trust her. He doesn't listen to her. Like, he sucks.
Yes, but somehow she is still so in love with him, but he really doesn't care care that much for her. Whenever she is having issues in like with her mental health and in her personal life, he really automatically kind of dismisses it, kind of says that, okay, this is a problem that we need to fix, versus kind of just letting her talk about it, letting her feel it out, empathizing with her. And then of course we have, you know, the very end where he basically is like, I don't really want to die. This isn't something that I'm willing to give up for you, which is understandable to an extent, but there is no sort of, it's going to be okay, Alicia, I love you. Like, we're going to make it out of this. There's no sort of reassurance. There's no reassurance to the fact that, you know, maybe he could do something, or reassurance to the fact that even if it doesn't end well for them, that he loves her and he's thinking of her. There's nothing like that.
No.
So it really is all the perception of him being a wife guy without really truly being a wife guy. And that's not something we can get behind, so it's going to be a pass for
Not
me.
to mention, he cheated.
Also that.
Yeah.
Extra pass.
Extra
for me.
pass. This man sucks.
Yeah. Behold the pass cake.
This is
Give
the
her
cake.
a look. Give her a look.
I would love to know what y'all thought if you would take a bite of this cake.
Yeah.
Both
would
the
you?
cake and the people on
Would
it.
you?
Yeah, we might have some controversial takes on this cake. I feel like, as
This cake
we
was
do.
hard. This was harder than our previous cake, I think, because you and I are so like, there's an argument for anyone.
Yeah, genuinely.
So-
Like, that's part of why we chose like a smaller number compared to our previous episode with the cake, is that like we couldn't really come up with that many that we had strong feelings for.
Yes.
So,
But I think we made it work, and I think we made some solid arguments for the passes that we put on the cake. So
Yes, agreed.
let us know in the comments what you thought.
Now, let's talk about our lineup for the next couple of episodes, because we've got some exciting stuff. First of all, with our book club episode, we will be reading Listen for the Lie, picture here, by Amy Tintera. Very exciting. Another sort of murder mystery thriller type book.
Yes, yeah. And that episode will be coming out Tuesday, November 18th, so make sure to drop by and give it a listen, help us solve the crime.
And then after that, for our off the shelf episode, we will be sort of resolving the punishment that we talked about from our book boyfriend draft, because someone lost. You might remember our previous episode where we did an I Read, You Read, a classic here on the pod. We will be doing an I Read, You Listen from the loser of that draft.
Yes, unfortunately, my team fumbled the championship game, so we will be reviewing, summarizing, rating one of the lowest rated books on Goodreads for you and for Carly. I will be reviewing Handbook for Mortals by Lainey Sarum. You know how we are with names. I don't know if that's the correct
We'll work on it.
pronunciation. Anyway, Team Sam will be summarizing and reviewing that book here on the pod on Tuesday, December 2nd.
Yes, and be sure to keep an eye out on our social media, because we are now towards the end of this year's episodes. We will be taking a short break soon for the holidays. So with that, we're going to be posting a little bit more about what books we are considering for the new year. So be sure to look out for that. And if you want to comment with your opinions, your thoughts for the books that we are thinking about talking about, or if you have any other suggestions, we would love to hear it there.
Yes, for sure. Thank you so much for listening to the latest episode of our hit podcast, Read Receipts with Carly and Sam. All of the content that you hear in this episode was curated, recorded, and edited by us truly, with special thanks to the authors of the books that we cover and Pixabay for the music that we play. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast wherever you like to listen, and for more of our content in between shows, you can follow us at the Read Receipts Pod on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. You can follow us on there to find out, our upcoming episode schedule, like Carly mentioned. We have a new year ahead of us, so a lot of new books are coming into play, so make sure to follow along so you don't miss a thing. Until our next read, bye!